Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the process of building our membership, what I wanted to deliver, and how we pieced it together to launch. You guys seem to enjoy these behind the scenes episodes, and I'm going to try and be a little more vulnerable and transparent, which is hard. But I think it's important to hear the how and the why to appreciate the end product as we are still welcoming in founding members through the end of the month. All right, we're going to go back to September of 2024. This all started with our mastermind event in Nashville. So Seconds in Command from across the US flew into Nashville for 2 days of masterminding. So operational benchmarking, report projects, hot seats, roundtable topics, and guest trainings. There were strong connections made in that room because it is utterly confidential. So attendees were able to discuss things openly they maybe never had, like their relationship with their CEO, struggles in the business, holding people accountable. Everyone was really vulnerable and supportive. At that meeting, we announced that we were changing our model. Rather than having these one-off events where everyone created these bonds and then just went home, we created a membership. So these were now their people. This was their board of directors for the year. They could stay in touch. They could ask real-time feedback without having to wait until the next event. So what came with changing the model? There were 3 things we had to do on Second First's end. The first was create the new revenue model and pricing structure. 2 was determine how we would add value, what would make it worth a year-round membership. And 3, build an online platform. So first, the revenue model. I have belonged to industry peer groups in the past as a COO. I knew what I liked and what I did not like. I like predictable monthly expenses that are easy to budget against and create predictable profit. I don't like spikes in expenses during the year. Other peer groups I had been a part of had monthly dues and then separate invoices for their in-person meetings. One group specifically that I'm thinking of, we would pay like $2,000 a month, and this is low. This is just kind of made up numbers. We would pay like $2,000 a month to be a member, and then their in-person quarterly meetings were another like $3,000. And I would also have to pay for hotel rooms on top of that. So once every quarter, there would be anywhere from an additional $4,000 to $6,000 expense on top of the monthly dues, especially knowing that our members are employees, they're seconds in command, they're executives that are having to ask for expense approval from their CEO. I wanted this to be as easy as possible. Our monthly dues include our in-person mastermind event in the fall. It includes those hotel rooms. It's all just built in. And I will tell you, it is a fraction of what the monthly dues I was just describing were. So of course the risk is someone joins and something happens and they're unable to attend the in-person event. We obviously are asking for a commitment from everyone that they will try their absolute best to make it to the event just because there's so much value in being in person in real life with your peers, but things happen. So the value of the membership has to be worth the monthly investment no matter what. From a business perspective, I'm also following my own rules, and that is to get away from project-based revenue as quickly as possible and move into recurring revenue. That is something I think all of you should be doing as well. When you have MRR or monthly recurring revenue, you're able to provide a much better service to your clients, members, and employees because there's a predictability. You can make calculated investments without there being a gamble that you'll make sales. So that brings us to number 2, determining how we would add value to make it worth a year-round membership. First and foremost, I wanted to be sure to capture the magic of the mastermind meetings. So each member, when they join, is immediately and thoughtfully placed into a curated private mastermind cohort. These are small groups of no more than 12 members that meet quarterly for a mastermind meeting. 3 meetings are virtual, and 1 is the in-person event here in Nashville. This allows for quarterly accountability, regular feedback and support, and updated benchmarking on important things like turnover, revenue per employee, etc. There also had to be value added to the community as a whole. So obviously having access to growth-minded seconds in command across the US, the entire directory of members via chat is super valuable. Those are connections you otherwise would have a lot of difficulty finding. Another element I wanted to include were our tools that we have included in the second first framework. We have a lot of templates and Excel tools that make life a lot easier and prevent you from having to recreate the wheel. So having those in a downloadable library, I knew would add a lot of value. And finally, I thought back to what else I would have wanted as a member as a COO. I heard Rory Vaden on a podcast say you are best suited to serve the person you once were. I'm going to say that one more time. You are best suited to serve the person that you once were. I would have loved relevant workshops and masterclasses from experts on topics that were relevant to my role as a second in command of an entrepreneurial business. So that's what we did. We brainstormed and created a list to reach out to that we booked for 1-hour expert sessions for our members. They'll all be held live, and the recordings will then go into a digital on-demand library. I am still in talks with some booking agents and some experts that are definitely a case of me just shooting my shot, because what's the worst that could happen? And surprisingly, I haven't gotten a no yet. So that's pretty incredible. But just some examples of some things that are coming up in the first couple months. So Sean Lemon, the founder of The Digital Organizer, he specializes in creating streamlined digital organization systems to supercharge productivity. Think file structure and sharing, organizing data, email, those kind of things. And then we have Hallie Warner, the co-founder and co-author of The Founder and the Force Multiplier. I know you've heard me talk about that book before. She's an expert on the working partnership between founders and their right-hand employees. And then Amy Stasukaitis, founder of Chief Matriarch and The Helm, is an expert on family dynamics as an executive. So balancing motherhood with a high-achieving executive career and being second in command to your spouse. That is something that comes up so often, and I'm so excited to have someone actually come and speak on it. So those are just some examples. We have 2 reoccurring slots each month for members to schedule against. We also have sponsors and partners offering discounts to members, free consultations and advising, just extra bonuses to keep adding in value. And then the third big project in all of this was to build the actual online membership platform. Again, thinking about what I like and don't like. I hate when communities are like, here's a membership, and it's just a Slack channel or a Microsoft team. That starts to feel like noise to me. It feels noisy, it feels a little lazy, and it's always really inconvenient for like half the members. So if your company uses Slack, it's really not fun to have to use Teams for one thing. And if your company uses Teams, it's really not fun to have to use Slack for one thing. Worse, at least in my opinion, worse are groups that use Facebook. Some companies block Facebook, their IT department does, or it starts to throw up red flags like, hey, why is your COO sitting on Facebook so much? Well, it's a professional organization. It gets weird. So we evaluated 3 to 4, I think 4 membership platforms. We finally landed on Circle, which has been perfect. With Circle, we're able to create separate spaces for everything we want to, but it's all very clean. The design and like UI is very easy to navigate. It's very clean and simple. It's all on this left-hand menu. There's member chat we built out. We have an announcement section. There's a space with all of the tools to download. There's our virtual calendar and video library. There are private, locked down spaces for each mastermind cohort to chat and operate in confidentiality. We have a frequently asked questions knowledge base, a referral program space, and spaces for the in-person mastermind event information and planning. So it has been a lot of work to get it right. But it's something I'm really, really proud of. And I'm so excited to see everyone start interacting and collaborating within the platform. These types of episodes always feel a little uncomfortable for me because I'm really, I guess, exposing the process behind the business. But I hope that there are some takeaways that you may have gotten from my journey. To find show notes and links for anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/35. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right-hand roadmap.